Okay, it's working. It's happening. Yeah, it is. Hi. Hello. I'm doing it. I'm doing a live. I finally made it work. I've been trying to do this for like several days and, and I have failed several times, but we're here now and my computer is freshly updated, so I won't have to deal with that and we're good to go. I committed to doing this live for some reason, and so we're doing it live. I've never done one of these tier ranking videos before. They seem really hard, but we're gonna give it a go. I think I'm just gonna dive right in because it's 11 o'clock at night and I have to finish this so I can go to sleep. And we'll just go from the beginning here. Boom, this one, Batman. What is it? Batman Year One. It's like an essential Batman read. I'm gonna just like start it in B and probably get in trouble for that, but that just feels right. It's like, it's essential, it's really good, maybe it belongs in A. Top of B, bottom of A. I'm gonna leave it in B for now. For some reason, that's what my gut says. By the way, that's what all this is gonna be. It's not based on my ratings or anything like that. Just going with my gut. My gut says that's a B. Bloodless Princess. To do Bloodless Princess, I think I'm actually gonna skip ahead to the Fireborn Blade, which is right here. This is book 1. This is a duology, so they're novellas. Fireborn Blade was really, really good. You are going to be hurt when I get to Flood Over Brighthaven. I'll save that for you. Fireborn Blade I had a really good time with. Novella, so it's really quick, but the character work was great. You can see in the background a little bit, there's like a dragon there. Wait, I should make these... Oh, no, that's right. Okay. Yeah, really, really good. I haven't read much like fantasy with dragons, believe it or not. So that was one, and it was really solid. Hello, hello. Bloodless Princess, though, Bloodless Princess was not as good. It was much weaker than book 1. So I'm gonna put it, honestly, maybe in C. I feel like I read it, and the whole time I just kind of wished it was as good as the first one, but it wasn't. So it's gonna go in C for now. We'll see. But Fireborn Blade was really good, and if there is a book 3, I'm gonna read that, especially because you are correct. I do need to read more dragons. I think that's like the only dragon book in this whole list, but we'll see. Okay, so now I'm gonna come back to Dresden Files because there's 3 Dresden Files here, and I have to remember which is which. There's a Grave Peril, Full Moon, and then there's another one, and I don't know which is which. That's much better. But so we're gonna see. We're gonna come back to that. Can I like rearrange them on this? I can. Okay, that's actually helpful. Great. But I see this here, and I want to talk about this. Murder on Hunter's Eve. To talk about that, I have to talk about this. And to talk about that, I also want to talk about this one here. Okay. Murder at Lamplight Express is book 2 of the Spindle Manor, what is it? The Lamplight Murder Mystery Series, I mean. So Murder at Spindle Manor exists, and then Monster of Light Tower Library is like a short story that came out, and it takes place between the first and second book or novella, and it was really, really good. So I'm gonna put this in A, even though it was a short story, really short, really, really, really strong, and it did end up serving as a great, like, what do you call it? Whatever, like connecting point between the first and the second, which I didn't know at the time because I did read them like in order chronologically, not in release date order. First you're hearing of the series, I believe you. If you don't watch my stuff, apparently. Okay, book 2, Murder at Lamplight Express. This was phenomenal. Better even than that short story, and I think that's only because of like the length of it, honestly, because the short story was great, and it had really cool, like inventive little like monster things that you had to deal with. So I was really into that. But Lamplight Express was like back to, a little bit more of a full mystery that we got to like watch our characters solve, because this is a murder mystery like series. So each book or each story, I guess, is like somebody, at least somebody, like one person has died, and our characters have to figure it out. So that was really good. But Murder on Hunter's Eve, book 3, believe it or not, is I think I can confidently say the best one in the series so far. So I'm going to go as far as to say this goes into S tier. It just was, it was fantastic. I'm obsessed with it. I've talked about it too much on this channel already, so it will just live there. That's where it lives. Spider-Man Blue, kind of in my head, is in a similar spot to Batman Year One. Like, it feels like an essential Spider-Man read. And I did both of those comic books were like rereads. So on the first read, they were like higher up, probably. Like, I feel weird talking about a reread even in this, like ranking it, because like I already read it, so it didn't hit as hard as it did the first time. So that's where they go. Then Impossible Creatures. Impossible Creatures is a weird one because I'm just not the target demographic. It was really good. Like, I liked it, but it is middle grade, I think. Like, or yeah, it's definitely at least YA, but it felt middle grade. Like, a lot of the important themes and stuff, like it did handle a lot of things that I think are important for a younger audience, for sure, at least to talk about and to like read about. But it handled them in a way where it was like very hand-holdy, which I think is probably good for a lot of people in that audience. But I'm not that audience, so it felt like, I don't know, I didn't need it to be like that for me. The story was fun, the characters were cool, the creatures in the world were really neat, and the world itself was interesting. It's like kind of a, what's it called, like portal fantasy sort of thing. Like, there's it's takes place here, but also like an alternate version of here, sort of. It was cool, but I'm gonna put it in B, mostly because I'm not the target demographic. But I would highly recommend it if you have somebody in your life who is like 10. That's a great, like, I want to give that to my nephew when his birthday comes around. I think he will really, really, really enjoy it. And if I do that, then I'll read book 2 with him, because I want to see where the story goes. But on my own, I don't know if I want to see where the story goes. Lincoln in the Bardo. This is a hard one. I talked about this in a video once, and I had to cut down me ranting about this book for like 45 minutes at least. I cut it down, and it was still like 25 minutes in the video. And it's complicated. I hated it. Well, okay, no, I hated the way it was written, but not even that. Okay, here's what it is. The writing was good. The story was good. Like, I really liked that, but the format was infuriating. It is the most pretentious formatting of any story I have ever read. It's like, I can't even. They just made so many decisions, George Saunders, because he's George Saunders and he could do that. But no other author, I feel like, would get away with doing it like that. Like, he would write words and then say the name of the person who wrote it, like kind of like a screenplay almost, but it's like, it's a book, like it's a novel. I don't know, things like that. It was annoying. It was annoying. It made it complicated to read. He himself has a video on YouTube where he explains how to read it, because he's gotten a lot of feedback from people who are like, I made it 20 pages in and I can't stand it. and he was like, no, it's good. You just have to read it like this. And I think if you have to do that, you've messed up. And I think he messed up by being who he is. But yeah, okay. So did he get away with it? He kind of did, because I did like the story. Hello, another person joined. Incredible. That's 3 people. That's 3 more than I expected. Yeah, you should probably hate it, but it also has like some really impactful quotes, and like the story again is really good, and like it hit me several times. Like, there was one line that really stuck in my head, where there's 2 characters. They're trying to do something. How exactly did they phrase it? They want to do something. They don't know if it's going to work. And one of them is like, we have to do this thing. And the other character's like, we can't do that. We don't know if it'll work. Who knows what's going to happen if we do that? And then that first character is like, he says some really well-written line where he's like, a train approaches a wall at a breakneck speed, right? Like this train is gonna crash into this wall, and you're standing there in front of a lever. Do you pull the lever? You don't know what is gonna happen when you pull it, but you know what's gonna happen when you don't pull it. That train is going to crash, and everybody's gonna die, right? And I feel like that just like worked for me. Like it worked better than like Nike, like just do it kind of thing, right? Like it was like just do it, but if you don't, you know bad things are gonna happen. So like just give it a shot. And I feel like that hit home. And I think about that a lot. So I don't know where to put it. I'm gonna put it in B. I'm gonna put it in B. Formatting is like F, but the rest brings it up enough. I can't talk about it without ranting forever. So we're gonna move on. Continuing. Okay, Dungeon Crawler Carl is who's on the train. It kind of ends. That's a good point. Yeah, kind of the trolley problem, but like a little bit. I don't know. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up. But yes, you are correct. Okay, Dungeon Crawler Carl is such a strange series for me because I really like it, but I kind of can't tell you what happens like book to book. And I know that I'm in a weird spot with Dungeon Crawler Carl because I just had this glass shattering moment with it the other day, and I shared it in some place, and somebody was like, "Oh, like I hadn't noticed that before, but now I will, and that's probably gonna ruin it for me." I was like, "Shoot!" So I'm not gonna share it here. But I had a moment in my head where I was like, "Oh wait, I actually really hate this about this series," and it has happened in every single book. And it really bugs me. But other than that, this is a fantastic series. But yeah, what happens in these? I don't know. I don't even know which one of these is book 2 and which one is book. I don't know. I don't know which one is which book. This is 3 and 4, I think. They were both really good. I don't know which one I would rank higher than the other. Whichever one is 3 would be worse. I don't remember book titles. I can't say it now, Rachel. I can't do it. I can't. I'll DM you separately. If anybody wants to know, I can talk about it sometime else, but I can't do it here. I don't want to ruin lives. For now, I'm just going to throw them both in A, and we'll get back to it. They're just fun, and I do just turn my brain off for a large portion of the books. Like I'm not following along with like the stats and everything, and the fight scenes don't really work for me in books. So there's like a lot of fighting in the books, and I do kind of glaze over, but they're just so much fun. Okay, if Anarchist is 3, then that's actually going to go in B, because that was the one with the Iron Tangle, and I understand the Iron Tangle. Like I wasn't confused by it. I think a lot of people, they like, when you say you didn't like the Iron Tangle, they're like, "Oh, you didn't get it. It confused." I got it. I just didn't like it. I thought it was a bad mechanic. I think you, Lit Wizard, I think it's like your favorite one, right? Which is kind of incredible, but it didn't work as well for me. So it's going to go in B. I think behind these two is fair. That's where it's going to live. Paper Menagerie, really good. Mostly, it's a collection of short stories, and it's mostly really good. But there are moments in it where, like, I don't know, it's no, I don't think it's actually that confusing. Yeah, Paper Menagerie, moments in this are phenomenal. Like the highs are really high, and the lows are not that low. Like they're mid range. But I think as for how high it gets, it definitely goes up in A. Some of these are like hauntingly beautiful. Really good. Probably, honestly, over here. And I am going to shift it up a little bit over here because, like, the way that I read it was fantastic, because this was my first buddy read on the channel, and it was so much fun. So that was great. Getting to we did one story a week, and it just worked. Is that how we did it? however we did it. We did one story every now and then, and it was it was really good. We made it work for the month. It was a lot of fun to discuss it as I went. And I think honestly, for some of them, like there were 2 or 3 in a row short stories that I didn't really care for, and I could see myself, like, if I didn't do it with my buddy read, probably I would have like DNF'd or like taken too long between like those 2 and the next one, just because like no motivation to pick it up again, and that would have been a mistake. But having the buddy read like motivate me to pick it up like on a schedule really helped. So that was really good. I really liked it. Poppy War, I'm gonna break some hearts. It's gonna go in C. I don't know. It was fine. I mean, maybe it should be bottom of B, but I'm gonna put it in top of C because it was fine, and then I'm also bitter about it because I wanted it to be like S tier, and it just, for me, it just wasn't. Like it was good. I think I really just didn't like how heavy-handed it was in some points, and there was like a lack of sensitivity that honestly the Paper Menagerie did have, and I did read the Poppy War fairly soon after reading the Paper Menagerie, and they touched on similar topics of like horrible real-life brutalities of war, but there was something about the way it was handled in the Paper Menagerie. It just felt like it was more like just sensitive, like and it doesn't have to be. Like, it can be harsh. Somebody put it really well after I read both of these, and they were talking about both of them, and they were saying how the Paper Menagerie felt like it was like telling those stories, like these dark themes. It was covering them kind of to give a voice to the victims, and the Poppy War didn't do that. Like, it felt like it was almost doing it like, I don't know how to describe it, but it didn't feel like it was giving a voice to anybody. It just felt like it was the R.F. Kuang was like really angry, which she should be, because these are infuriating topics and you should be really angry. But I feel like there was just no discretion. It was just like boom, 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 and it made me mad. You're the one who said it, Alvin. I can't remember how you put it for the Poppy War, but you are the one who said what I was just quoting. But yeah, it was okay. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. I will be continuing the series. I did have a lot of fun talking about that book on Tim Burbage's channel. And I fully acknowledge that you, Rachel, and like millions of other people disagree with me. But for me, it didn't work. So, moving on. Howling Dark. To talk about Howling Dark, I have to talk about Empire of Silence first, and then we can also add in The Lesser Devil, which comes between those two. They were all right. I'm DNFing the series, I'm pretty sure. Empire of Silence was fine. Like, B tier fine, though. Was it better than these? I mean, definitely not better than that, so it goes here. It was fine. I wanted it to be much better. So that's where it's going to go. You know what Empire of Silence is. It just didn't work for me. And then The Lesser Devil, I did like better than Empire of Silence. It follows a different character. It's a novella, which is good. And then I went back to Howling Dark, and again, it just, I think it was better than Empire of Silence, I think, but not by much. And I think I liked Lesser Devil more than it, and I didn't like Lesser Devil that much. So I think they all sit around here in my brain, at least right now. Just, they were fine. I probably won't continue the series. They're long. The pacing is weird for me. It just doesn't work. So goodbye to those, I think. Assassin's Apprentice in space, probably. And I think, honestly, so, okay, that's probably a fair comparison. But I am more of a fantasy fan than I am a sci-fi fan. So I want Assassin's Apprentice on the ground. I want it in the full fantasy setting, even though I think these are like sci-fantasy, sort of, the Empire of Silence, or Sun Eater, I mean. But yeah, maybe that's why it doesn't work for me as well as Assassin's Apprentice did, which we'll just skip ahead to Assassin's Apprentice. This is like A tier for sure. Not quite S, but definitely A tier. I really enjoyed that. Just love a good character-focused novel. So that stays there for me. The Devils, the Devils, I don't know, like probably worse than those. But it feels weird putting it so close to Lincoln in the Bardo. The Devils was really fun every time my eyes were looking at the pages. Like when I was holding the book, when I was reading it, I was having a great time. And then I would put it down and I never wanted to pick it up again. And I can't explain it. I can't explain it more clearly than that. Or like, I don't know why that was. Because it wasn't the writing. Like the writing was good. The characters were fun. The things that they were doing, like I know there's some scenarios that the characters were in that a lot of people had issues with. Like they thought, you know, this one whole section where they're in this like kind of, it's not really a maze or a labyrinth, but they're in this situation. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter what it is. And people hated that. I really liked that. So like the parts of the story that people didn't like, I did enjoy, but just overall, I never felt the drive to pick it up when I wasn't reading it. Which it was a weird experience. So I will read more Joe Abercrombie. I don't know if I'll read like the sequel to The Devils when that comes out. If I'll continue this series, maybe, but I'm not sure. Carmilla. This is another like kind of an odd one to talk about because it was fine. Like it was fine. But I would highly recommend it to people because it's like. It feels, after you read it, it's like this is, you know, this predates Dracula. Like if you want to read and know about like vampire lore, like this feels like a great place to start. And if I know somebody is reading vampire books, I would absolutely be like, oh, you should totally check out Carmilla. It's super short and it's like kind of, it feels like it's where it all began. I don't know if it actually is where like vampires began, but that's what it feels like to me. So I think it can go at bottom of B because it's like, again, essential, but meh. I mean, it's not essential. It's a classic, so it stays there. A Drop of Corruption. I loved the Tainted Cup. I thought it was really fun. I loved this more, and the further I get from reading this, I think the higher my opinion is of it. Really, really, really good. It is not as good. I don't think this series is as good as the Lamplight Murder Mysteries series. I love those. And I'm only comparing the two because I happened to read The Tainted Cup when I read when I read Murder at Spindle Manor, and then I did same with like A Drop of Corruption. I read it kind of around when I was reading the rest of these, or at least these two. So, and they're both fantasy murder mysteries, but totally different in all other regards, honestly. In you know, the Tainted Cup, the Leviathan Wakes is the name of that series, I think. That one you're following kind of more the Watson of the Sherlock Holmes and Watson duo, and then in the Lamplight Murder Mysteries, you're following more, well, a little bit of both, but mostly the Sherlock character. So anyway, they're different. I compare them to each other unfairly. It doesn't matter. A tier for sure. Really, really, really good. I want the third book to be more like that. I see a few other people have joined in. Hello. Shadow of the Leviathan. Right, not Leviathan Wakes. Totally different. That's, what is that, the Expanse series? Yeah, totally different. Thank you. Summer Vamp. This falls in a similar arena to Impossible Creatures, where it's just, I'm not the target demographic, but I had a lot of fun with it. Like I gave it 5 stars because it's like super cute. But it's, you know, it's not for me, but I thought it was really cute. And I, you know, yeah, same commentary as I had with Impossible Creatures, honestly. Probably put it above Lincoln in the Bardo. That feels funny. Maybe this should be here. I'm gonna leave it here because it makes me mad. Station 11, another one that just didn't work for me. It's not going in C, but it's like bottom of B. Maybe it should go in C. I should have DNF'd Station 11, honestly. I don't think it's because of the book itself. I think it's the time that I read it. Like I was not in a place where I could read Emily St. John Mandel's like writing. Like it was really good, and I had just had the baby, and it was, you know, I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have picked it up. But it was for a buddy read, and the buddy read was a lot of fun. I think if I read this at a different time, I would have liked it more. I'm going to put it bottom of B for now, but now I'm going to shift it to top of C. That was quick. That just feels right because I did want to DNF it. So that's where I should put that. You read it and felt less than nothing. You DNF'd it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not alone. That's good. And I know I'm not alone because a few people in the Buddy Read agreed with me. So yeah, it's gonna stay in C. I do want to read more of her stuff though, Emily St. John Mandel. Partially because I do own 2 more of their books, but yeah, I don't know. Didn't work. I'm again glad I'm not alone on that. One Punch Man, it has to go in A tier, but I will put it over here. Yeah, that's where it's gonna go. It's volume 30. I'll put it bottom of A tier. It's volume 30 of One Punch Man. One Punch Man is so good. I rank them all the same in my head because they're all just so fun. It's like, I don't know. I've talked about it enough. It's just an incredibly fun series. Everybody should be reading One Punch Man. And they're just so fast. Like you get a volume, you sit down, you're done in 30 minutes, and you're caught up. It's so good. Detective Comics. This has like a whole big name. It's like whatever it is. I can't see it. It's too small. Can I zoom in? Look at that. Gotham Nocturne Overture. Right. That's what it is. I just read this recently. It was like good. And I don't know. I feel like it's set up a lot. You should buy One Punch Man because of me. It's so fun. Okay, maybe this goes in B. I had fun with this. The art was really, really cool, so that does help, in my opinion of it. The problem with it mainly for me is that I feel like it set up a lot of really good stuff, and that's cool. I love that. But my library only has this first volume, and they don't have the rest. So like I can't read the rest. So I'm sour about it. I mean, I can buy it obviously, but I can't buy it right now. So that's it's gonna go in B. It was fine. It was good. Palace Near the Wind. It's gonna go in C. I'm gonna put it bottom of C. Am I gonna put it in D? That feels so mean. I really like this author in spirit. They have IMAI is a short story they did. It's like super short, really, really good. Andrew Watson recommended that on his channel like a while back, and I picked it up because again, super short story, and it was I had so much fun with it. Just really well done, and I remember feeling like the world was so well developed, even though it was, I don't know, like 50 pages or something like that, but. Just, I was so excited when this book came out because it's a full-length novella. It was one of the first like arcs that I got, which it was the first arc that I got by reaching out to a publisher, like an e-arc, because I got turned down on NetGalley, and then I was like, you know, I just reached out and I was like, I loved this. I loved IMAI and I really need to read this. And I feel bad because then they were like, oh, totally. And then they sent me the e-arc and then I hated it. I didn't hate it. It just didn't do anything for me. I just turned the pages, got through it, and then was bitter about it at the end. So I'm bummed. I will absolutely read more by this author though. You know, the writing was good. The story I just didn't care about. And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer, Frederick Bachman. Honestly, I might throw this in S tier. This was like really powerful, and it like meant a lot like to me. Like gave me closure on a subject that I thought that I had closure on. It like gives you a really cool perspective, or not cool perspective, but unique and helpful perspective on like heavy topics. Like it talks about like dementia or Alzheimer's. I don't remember if it like clarifies which, you know, there's overlap, and I have in my family history, I have experience with that, very, very close experience, and it's really hard to deal with, but I've only experienced it from my side, like living with somebody who has that, you know, is going through that struggle, right? I've experienced that, and I've felt bad for them too, right? Obviously, but I don't know what they're dealing with, and then this, I don't know how accurate this is to that person's experience, but it still gave me closure about it. It let me in. It let me see why it's so frustrating, or see it like kind of a little more firsthand, like why that's so frustrating and why it's so hard every day, and what they're dealing with and how they're going through it. And it was gorgeous. It was really, 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 really well done and so short. And yes, Rachel, I do thank you, and you do not have to apologize for the tears, because it was beautiful, it was gorgeous, and it helped me a lot. I think I've already given a copy to my mom for her to read too. It's gorgeous. Okay. Next, The Failures. Okay, The Failures by Benjamin Lyer was so fun. This is another buddy read that we did. Assassin's Apprentice, before or after that, or above or below? I'm gonna put it below that, above Paper Menagerie. That feels right. The Failures is so good. It's one of those books where you're reading it and the whole way through you have so many questions, and then by the end you don't have the answers. No, almost none of my answers or my questions were answered. There's like really cool characters, a really interesting like world, I'll call it, but it's like almost like a machine that you're in, sort of like partially, and it's I don't it was cool, and the buddy read for this was so much fun. I had just a fantastic time in the buddy read, because everybody's throwing out theories and like asking questions, and everybody was super involved in that buddy read, and the book kind of like begs that of you, like it forces that out of you. It is really cool, and I can't wait for book 2. Benjamin Lyer just followed me on Instagram today, which is crazy because it's like my personal Instagram. But I had messaged him asking about book 2, and I was like, where is book 2? When's that happening? And I told him about the buddy read, and he didn't reply, but he followed me, so sure, okay. But I'm really excited for book 2. Alvin, yeah, isn't it kind of like a machine? It's like kind of a machine. It's like the what do they call it? I forget what they call it. All these cogs. It was kind of a machine. The mountain, right? But the whole thing was very mechanical. I don't know. It was interesting. You should totally check out The Failures if you haven't read it yet. It was super fun. I would say read it with somebody, because I do think that enhances the experience for you to like kind of both be confused and bouncing questions off of each other. Because there were several times when I was reading it and I was like, oh man, like did I miss something? Like am I like, do I have to go back and check something? And sometimes I did do that. But then when I would check in on the buddy read, I'd be like, oh no, I didn't miss anything. We don't know the answer to that yet. We don't know why that's just happened. So read it with somebody if you can. Super fun. This one, 8 Billion Genies. It was okay. It was good. I like the premise of it more than the execution. The art I really liked, but it was just okay. I really didn't care for like the way it ended. The big twist was neat, but yeah, there was so much potential, but I don't know. I don't think it really stuck the landing. So that's a no-go. It goes here. Read it if you want. I wouldn't highly recommend it. Silver Blood Promise probably goes somewhere in B. I mean, definitely above the Sun Eater. It feels weird having anything close to Sun Eater, just because it was such a nothing burger. Is that a phrase? Is that what people say? I think, maybe this goes here. I'll rearrange these later, potentially. Yeah, I think that goes there. That feels right. It was really fun. Lucan was a fun character. What's her name? Flea or something. The side character, like the sidekick kind of character, was really fun. It was kind of like Lift from Stormlight, but I love Lift, but this was like a better version of Lift. It's a weird comparison, maybe, but it really fun. So that was good. A nothing burger should be in C. You're right. Am I gonna put Empire Silence? I mean, Sun Eater in C. I'm gonna put Empire Silence in C. How about that? It can go top of C. Howling Dark can stay here, but go after Lincoln and the Bardo. No, before Lincoln and the Bardo. Lesser Devil better than that. That feels better. Thank you. Okay. All right. We're here. I hate this book. I like don't even want to say anything more about that. I didn't have a good time with this. I had a bad time with this. I wanted to DNF this. I should have DNF'd it. I don't really know why I didn't. I just didn't like it. I don't know. I think the magic system potentially is part of why I didn't like it. I am a software engineer, and the magic system was like based sort of on like, what do you call it? Like based on software engineering. But I feel like in my head I was like, oh, like all of your problems, or this wouldn't be a problem because I would have just like made a typo and accidentally fixed this, or like accidentally figured this out. And then there were big plot twists, or like there was like the big plot twist, but it was like, I don't know, kind of predictable, but also like, I know it was predictable. It was predictable. I don't know. I didn't like it. It didn't work for me. The magic system is dope in theory, but like in practice, it wasn't. Like, I don't know. I think I was maybe too close to the magic system, and so it didn't work for me. Like, it was like cute at the beginning, and then it was like, okay, I don't like it. I don't know. Didn't work. I know that I'm wrong. Everybody loves it except for me. Oh, you've seen people have a negative opinion of it? That's great. I'm so glad to hear it. But yeah, okay, then I'm not alone. It didn't work for me. I will say, chapter 1 of Blood Over Brighthaven is like one of the best chapters of a book that I've ever read. Like, it gives me hope for more ML Wang. Like, I want to read more of their stuff. Spellograph, yeah, that's the word. The first chapter was phenomenal. And then the second chapter, it dipped down, and I was like, that's okay. We'll get back up there. We'll get there. And then I kept going. And when I got to the last chapter, I finally realized that we were never going to get back to that level of intensity, that level of excitement, and that level of me caring for anything that was happening on the page. So anyway, hate that book. It goes in D, and that's only because I don't have another. I mean, can I make a new? Yeah, cool. Add a row below. The Lit Wizard. No, just because you like that book, I'll just put F. Add a row below, and I'm gonna make it red. Or yeah, that. Boom. It doesn't work. Is it because I already have that color? It doesn't work. All right, we'll move on. Oh, oops, it worked so many times. All right, great. There you go. Great. So now the next one is Once Was Willem. I love Once Was Willem. This was good. I've messed this up. Let's delete some of these new rows. Goodbye. Okay, and Once Was Willem fell off. This was great. This was a great book. This was like 5 stars, no question. It was like pretty short, quick read, really cool, like folklore-ish kind of feel to it. So I love that. And it was like all fresh characters. I also really liked the villain. Like, the antagonist in this book is like a villain. Like, they were bad, and they were just being bad to do bad things and to be a bad guy. And like, I want to win. I want to be the baddest guy. And then he was like super bad. So that was like really cool. I feel like most of the time you have your antagonist and you're like, oh, like I see at least that you have like a purpose. Like, you think you're doing this for the right reasons. But no, like this guy's like, I know this is bad, but I'm gonna do it. Oh, also, I forgot to show off. Look at this. How cool is this? Do you love that or what? That's Bagel. Anyway, Once Was Willem was fantastic. I highly recommend it. It's one, like, it's short enough that I feel like I want to reread it. It was really, really good. Fisherman, The Fisherman. It was fine. I didn't have as good a time with The Fisherman as I wanted to. I didn't have even as good a time as the 2 people that I read this with. Alvin, you're one of them. My problem with this was that it was 2 stories. It was like 2. It's like a story within a story, but the story that was within that story, like the main story, I didn't like care for it as much as the other one. Like that's really the only problem with it. Like it felt like it was going to be an aside, like that. Okay, quick tangent to tell you about this fishing story, and I was like, okay, cool, we can do that for a paragraph or two. And then they kept going. So yeah, what is the Fisherman? That's a great question. It is kind of like a horror novel. It's like set in New York, like eldritch horror. Yeah, it's set in New York, kind of like somewhat near like where I live, which was exciting. I was looking forward to that, but but it just, I don't know. Parts of it were really cool. I really liked parts of it, but the way that it just broke my concentration. Like I was really into these two characters that were like dealing with grief and like loss, and they like took up fishing to like cope, kind of, right? And like that's what our main character did, and then somebody else does it, and then they're like going on this fishing trip, and they talk to somebody, and he's like, oh well, let me tell you about the place that you're going fishing, and then he does for like 500 pages. Not really, because the book is really short, but it just felt like it was too long, and I didn't think it was necessary. Like at the end, I honest to God, I feel like we could have just not had that. Like I didn't need that. Like he could have just been like, oh, you don't want to go there, and then they'd been like, oh, that guy was crazy, let's leave and go there, and then go there, and then I wouldn't have been lost. I think that's it. And Alvin is pointing out that it is probably a victim of distracting timing, and that is probably correct. But we're gonna move on from there. It's not a bad book. Like I just dunked on it a little bit there, but it's like not bad. It's some people love this book, but yeah, didn't work for me right when I read it. Lost Ark Dreaming is another one that I was a little bummed about. This is like also gonna annoy people. It's like, it's good. It's like it's a short novella, not a short story. I think it's a novella, and it's like a sci-fi novella, and it's like it deals with like the class system and class issues, and like I liked the topics. I liked some of what was happening, but I don't know. I was kind of like just dragging my feet through it. I wasn't very invested. The place was really cool. Like if I zoom in here, can I do that again? Yeah. Like this is like pretty much all that's left of humanity. And if you look really carefully here, this one building is like all that's left, because these ones in the background are like, they're done. They're gone. You don't know what happened to them at the beginning, right? But bad things, right? So that was cool to like, I liked the setting of it being this like one building, and like the classes are on different floors and stuff like that. It was cool, but not cool enough. It didn't do it for me. It goes here. The House in the Cerulean Sea. So good. So good. It's a fantastic book. Probably here. Ooh, this is tricky. A is tough. Probably there. This it was really good. Like just a beautifully told story. It was my first TJ Klune. Really, just it's cozy, comforting, warm. You know, this guy has to go to this orphanage and decide if they should get shut down, and then you just meet this cast of characters that are just wonderful. So it was so good. And then the sequel, Somewhere Beyond the Sea, not as good, but like I don't even know. It might be a B. It can go up here still. Yeah, but not as good. But it did almost make me cry because it like took a lot more of the like fatherly story beats. Like there was a lot of that, like parental, not even just father, but like parental stuff was happening in it, and it was really tugging at my heartstrings. But I had some issues. Actually, no, I had one big issue with that book that really bugged me. I am going to put it in B. Still really good. Still worth reading the sequel. Like you should read Somewhere Beyond the Sea if you read House in the Cerulean Sea. Like it's a great follow-up, and it's like potentially not even the end. Like there might be a book 3. I think TJ Klune said at the end, like he was like, oh, like it's kind of up to you guys if we're gonna get a book 3. I could write it. I don't know if we need it, and I feel kind of the same. I'm like, yeah, sure. If he writes it, I'll read it. If he doesn't, I'll be fine with that. I'm cool to leave it here. It was wrapped up nicely, but I could see where he could go from there, if that makes sense. So yeah, totally recommend this series. It's beautiful, and I think especially, well, I'm not even gonna say that. I was gonna say especially if you're a parent, like book 2 will have, you know, big impact, but that's not true. If you were a child at some point, I think that you'll also really feel it in those moments. So gorgeous, really, really, really good series. Definitely House on the Cerulean Sea was my preferred of the 2. I'm glad my mom died. Really, really good. Jeanette McCurdy's new book is either out or coming out, by the way. I just saw that. It's like a fiction story, totally different, but probably good. This was really good. I don't think the writing was like anything to like write home about. Like the writing wasn't spectacular, but didn't matter because the story was like raw and real, and it just it was really good. It was really good. So yeah, memoir. If you like memoirs and if you know who Jeanette McCurdy is, especially, totally check it out. If you don't, like, I still think it's worth checking out though. It's like talks about being a child in the like television industry, like Nickelodeon type stuff. So yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. A House with Good Bones was like solid. This was like a good book, probably around here. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but you know, it's still T. Kingfisher. T. Kingfisher is fun. It was like witchy, and it was like there was cool bug stuff in it. I think my main issue, if I can remember, was the pacing was like a little off. Like it was and by the way, B is very good. Oh, okay, you're not talking to me right now. So the pacing was a little off. So the pacing felt like it was like kind of really slow at the beginning, or not even the beginning. Like the first like 90% was like slow, but I was into it. Like I had no problem with that pace. I liked that. I was really enjoying the character. The character's really funny. They're a oh, what's the word for it? They're not like an entomologist, but they were a archaeoentomologist, like not just study of bugs, but the study of like old dead bugs. So like, that's really cool. I didn't know that was a profession that exists, but really, really neat. So the characters were cool. The things that were happening were cool. The pace I was happy with, but it was slow. And then at the end, the pace like shot up, and it was like too quick. And then things wrapped up. T. Kingfisher did something crazy with like the monsters that were there. I can't say what those monsters were because this is a family-friendly show, but that was nuts. That was a choice. It was fun. It was fun. Another Buddy Reed pick. It was a good one. Dead Silence, meh, I don't know. It was fine. Probably here. At no point did I want to DNF it, but it was, you know, it was fine. It was like the characters were not very good, and the dialogue was pretty terrible. But like you know, it's a horror space book. That was cool. So I don't know if I'd recommend it, but I had a decent time reading it. That was it. Lesser Dead, boom, 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 up, 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 higher, 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 over, here? I'll put it here. Yeah, it didn't like, yeah, it goes there. This was like the best, this was the best vampire book that I've read, I think, ever. I love this book. It knocked Dracula out of my top 10, and I know Dracula is not like everybody's favorite like vampire book, but I loved Dracula. I know it's not for everybody. This was so good, so different from Dracula, but it is vampire. Is so good. It's like New York city vampires, and they're like living in the subway systems. And for a large portion of the book, large portion of the book, there wasn't like a plot that I knew of. Like I didn't know where it was going. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But then at some point you see what is happening, and then you're like, oh wait, like retroactively we've been in the plot for a little while now, I just didn't know it. And then it gets crazy, and the tone was great, like the voice was great of our main character. And then the end, the end was crazy. I haven't read an ending like this in a while, and I initially I didn't like the ending, and I think it's really hard to do this ending well, and I could see the ending not working for a lot of people. But for me, after I like talked to a couple people about it, I was like, oh, like that worked. Like that was really good. And now I want, like immediately after I finished it and read the ending, or really like the epilogue, I was like, oh wait, I need to start over and like try to pick up on all these things that must have been hinted at the whole way through that I didn't catch because I didn't know how it was going to end. So really, really good. If you're into vampire stuff, I think it's highly recommended by me. That's not the sentence I was going to say, but I lost track of it. We Used to Live Here was super fun. Definitely go somewhere in A. Maybe here. Boom. Maybe? Yeah. It was super fun. This was really good. This went in a million different directions from what I expected. Like I thought that I knew exactly what was going to happen here. Like it was the basic premise is this couple, they move in and like to this house, and the two of them, they go to houses, they buy them, they kind of flip them, and then they sell them, and then they go to another house. And so they did that. They bought this house, they move in. One of them goes off to the store or something, and so the other one, she's left home alone. People knock on the door, and she's like, oh, I have to call my girlfriend because I don't know if I can like invite you in because they want to come in. And she's like, oh no, she said no. But then somehow she invites them in anyway. Oh, sorry, yeah, The Lesser Dead was the vampire one. You should read that one. So anyway, people come into the house that they just bought. It's like classic horror story, like setup. But then from there, it just nothing. I couldn't have predicted anything else that happened in that book. It was super fun and like compulsively readable. Is that the word I was trying to say there? Really, really easy to read. Like, and I constantly wanted to be reading it, which is not a feeling I get too often. And I do mean like physically read it. Like I haven't read. I think that was the first book that I physically read all of last year. But I needed it in my hands. I needed to look at it because there were cool like clues all over the place. Like there's Morse code throughout the book, which is really cool. And like even on the spine of the book, which I didn't notice until like halfway through, there's like a lot of different clues, a lot of different mysteries. I don't think we're getting a second book. The Marcus Klewer is the author, and he has another book coming out soon, The Caretaker, which has like kind of a similar cover style, but I don't think it's a sequel. But I'm very excited to pick that up because this was his debut novel, and I loved it. There was some stuff in it that I was like, oh yeah, this is your debut novel, but the story itself was so good. I want to see more of his brain. Harbinger of Justice was great. This yeah, I think I'll put this in A also. It was great. It was a good time. I really enjoyed Silence is Silver, which is the novella that comes out before it, and I'm currently reading the novella that comes after this. It's really fun. It's just like the setting is really cool. You know, of course I'm biased because I love the author, so like I have no problem admitting my bias. But I thought this was really fun. I thought that the characters were really cool. The setting was really cool. The magic system was awesome. I really want to know more about the magic system. I know the Lit Wizard is reading this currently, so I'm not going to say much about it, but you know, it's like ancient Egyptian like setting, like that's you know where we're at. Not that we're in ancient Egypt. I meant ancient Egyptian inspired setting. and just like really cool, like kind of gods alluded to, and just, yeah, just chef's kiss. Then we have the first book that I read last year, Brandon Sanderson's Wind and Truth. This also is going to go somewhere in A. This is, again, the first book I read last year, so it's far away in my brain. It's honestly, I read like the last couple hundred pages in 2025, but I read most of it in 2024. So it's far away in my brain. I don't remember most of what happens here. But I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it concluded the series really well. I'll put it here. Yeah, I'm still like a Mistborn guy, like in my heart, just because that's where I started with Sanderson. But I really, really liked the Stormlight Archives, and I'm looking forward to like the follow up, like the next era of Stormlight Archives, which is years away. But yeah, really, really good. It was divisive for some reason because Brandon Sanderson got too big, and people like like to hate on people when they're too big. But I still am having a great time with Brandon Sanderson, so that was fun. The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs was really good. I think I'll put it somewhere in B, maybe. Maybe here. It was really good. I wanted it to be a book entirely about dinosaurs, and like I wanted to learn just dinosaurs, but a good portion of the book was about paleontology, which is interesting, but I was here for dinosaurs. It's not the rise and fall of the paleontologists, it's the rise and fall of the dinosaurs, and so I wanted more of that. Anyway, doesn't matter. It was still really good, and the paleontology bits were really interesting, but there was like a lot of name dropping stuff, and I don't know who that is, so I don't care about that. I just wanted dinosaur names, so it goes in B. I'm excited for the follow-up, The Rise and Fall of the Mammals, which I want to read hopefully this year. But that was good. Nonfiction about dinosaurs. Pretty sick. Apologies. So now, the what is this book called? The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. This book, I think I'm going to put it in B. Maybe A. It's tricky. If I hadn't read The Lesser Dead this year, I think this would have been like high A. But I read The Lesser Dead, and then immediately after I read the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, and it really hurt my my opinion of this one, I think, just because this was so good and this was not. Not that it wasn't so good, it just wasn't as good. But it's really fun. Like the setting is great. It's when is it? Like, I don't know, 80s or something. It's set in the same town and time period of the other Grady Hendrix book that I read, which was My Best Friend's Exorcism, which was also really fun. It's like just like quirky and I don't know, the same tone, honestly. If you like one, you're gonna like the other. If you didn't, you probably won't like the other. But yeah, I had fun with it. Maybe top of B. That could go in either. Helen of Windhorn, somewhere in C. The art was so good, and this is like one of those books where there's like two storylines, and we're going back and forth between storyline A and storyline B. And storyline A was solid, like rock solid. And storyline B, I couldn't care less. I didn't need it. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. And it didn't make sense. Like I didn't really, not that it didn't make sense. I didn't get a lot of what was happening in storyline B. I feel like they were trying to explain things that I didn't need explained. And then in doing so, they made it confusing. So it didn't work for me. But all the other stuff was so cool. Like the art was so good. And that main storyline was, or it's not even, I guess it's really opposite. The kind of secondary storyline was really cool. Anyway, I don't know that I'd recommend it too heavily to too many people. but maybe it was better than 8 Billion Genies. Okay, I'm going to put it there. Sure. No, I'm not. I'm putting it back over here between these two. Yeah. Now, this goes, honestly, is it going to go in S? No. But it's going to go here. Ooh, this is hard. This one's hard. This one is like, this is tricky. I love this, but it's like, it's almost like the experience was better even than the book. The book was great. The book is so fun, but I feel like I was possessed by something when I was reading this book. I was obsessed with it. Like I don't even know. I got so into the spirit of me reading a Star Wars book. Like I was so excited that I was doing that. It elevated my experience so much. I had so much fun reading it. I read it with like a couple people, sort of. Like we all read it kind of separately, but like at a similar time, sort of. But it was just fun to, you know, nobody gave like insightful commentary on anything while we read it. We just started shouting like, "Oh, this is awesome!" But yeah, it was really good, and it's wild too because like I'm not like into Star Wars. Like I mean I like the movies are like fine mostly, but I never like, I don't know. I've seen them. I haven't seen all of them. I've seen the ones that I've seen like once, maybe twice. Some of them. I haven't seen any of the shows. I haven't like you know, this is the first Star Wars thing I've interacted with in years, and I was shocked by my opinion of it. So yeah, it goes really hard. I'm gonna put it high, but it's not like, no, okay, it has to go lower here. It's gonna go here. It's really good. and yeah, again, not a Star Wars guy, but it was really fun. This one I would say not quite as good. It was still fun. It was still like, you know, this is like a zombie Star Wars thing. It was fun, but I don't know. It was all right. It goes in B. I think there's like a spiritual successor to this. Like I don't think it has like a true sequel, but there's like a book that people say to read next, and I think I probably will read it at some point. It was fun. Maybe top of C. Nah, yeah, sure, top of C. It kind of operates in a similar space in my brain to this Dead Silence, just because there were a lot of similarities between the two, but this did it all better. Yeah, I will also say Star Wars books. I'm new to them, right? Like I've said, the audiobooks are weird. Like if you're gonna pick these up, I would recommend probably trying them physically. And then if you want to try the audiobook, try it. But just know, I like get overwhelmed by too many sounds happening at once. And there's always sound. It's just the audiobook too. It's not like a graphic audio one. It's just Star Wars audiobooks are like this. Like if they're in a ship, you hear that they're in a ship. If they're like next to a generator, you hear the generator. And sometimes they're in that ship for a long time and you just hear like the whole time. I'm like, okay, like turn that off. Like I get it. I'm on a ship. I know that. You don't need to keep reminding me with that constant sound. But then there are other parts where it's really fun. Like it's fun to hear the lightsabers and the laser guns, right? So I don't know. Your mileage may vary. Check out a sample. Probably read it physically. It would be my recommendation. Garlic the Vampire, same exact spot as like Summer Camp, Impossible Creatures. They operate in the same place. I would recommend these to people. I have recommended these to people. But it's a very specific audience, so like a younger audience, and it's always my nephew. Like, I never mentioned Summer Camp. My nephew lent me. That's why I read this, which was amazing. That was so nice of him, and I did. I loved it. I had a great time. But yeah, again, I'm just like, I'm not the target audience for these. So they sit in B, but they sit there very comfortably. And again, they're great, great gifts for a younger audience. Now, these three I've been putting off just because I again, can't really remember the order. I think it's this: Full Moon, Grave Peril, Summer Night. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so Full Moon is book 2, and it's definitely the weakest of all of them so far. It's like wizard with a gun takes on like werewolves, and that's cool. But you know, it was cool. It was cool. I had a good time, but it didn't blow me away. You know, top of C is respectable, I'll say. And then Grave Peril was definitely a step up. I'm gonna drop this Batman one while we're here. Grave Peril, I'm gonna put probably above the Devils. Yeah, it was super fun. Just not quite as, well, it doesn't matter. Not quite as good as the things above it. Whatever. It was really good. I'm loving the Dresden Files. Even though this one was like a little lower, I'm still loving the Dresden Files. Grave Peril was, yeah, it was really good. Summer Night is the one that came after that at book 2, 3, 4. And it was not as good as Grave Peril. Grave Peril introduced like a new character who I loved. And then Summer Night, that character was like gone again, which was like just a bummer. And it like dealt with like fairy stuff. And the fairies in the Dresden Files are like fine. But they, I don't know, they didn't do it for me really, at least in this book. I think they'll be like reoccurring, like a gang kind of like in the Dresden Files. But for me, Grave Peril was more interesting and it had better characters. So maybe this goes actually here. That feels more right. Yeah, Full Moon down here, Grave Peril here, and then Summer Night here. Okay, that's it. That's the list. And I love this too, because you can't even see Blood over Brighthaven if I have the screen like this. It's hiding down there. Perfect. Amazing. I think I'm happy with this. Let me just, yeah, the night is gone from Summer Night. Yeah, it's like there's a different night in there. Okay, so let's see. These three I'm very comfortable with. And I honestly have no qualms about having, like, if this is my top 5, gorgeous. Like, maybe this is fair. Maybe this is fair. That's fair. Sure. That's my top 5. I'm very happy with that. And then these ones were all really, really good. I like this. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Any questions? Anybody have any complaints? I don't think so. No complaints here. I think this is perfect. This has been the best tier list anybody's ever done. I'm very tired. Thank you all for coming. I didn't expect so many people to show up. I really appreciate that. Yeah, let me know if you've read any of these. And well, how could Once Was Will and be higher? It's so high already. It's so good. But you know, there's just these ones are even better. I'm gonna cut it here. Thank you again for coming out. I will probably be putting this also on YouTube and not just have it be alive. So you may also be watching this there. Thanks. Bye, everybody.